How did you go from 2 to 3
to
to
1?
1? Anyway, welcome to Talking Sports Live. I'm Rob J, along with special guest Ed Trim with us in this week's show as we broadcast here from Full Moon Barbecue in Madison on Main Street. Thank you so much for joining us on our podcast. And also, thank you so much for joining us on the Lou, WLOO. Before we get started, I want to let you know that this show is brought to you by, of course, Pennington and Trim. Pennington and Trim Alarm Services. Their slogan is, let us in, we'll keep them out. 601-939-5231. That's a slogan. First Commercial Bank, where business is personal. 601-709-7777. That's a slogan. Willie T. Abson Law Firm, knowledgeable, experience, caring. 601-487-8839. That's a slogan. Mansell Media and Marketing Agency, a full-service advertising and marketing agency. Their number 601-339-2040. That's a slogan. Richard Shaw of Dynastics Promotion, the official clothier of Talking Sports Live, 601-353-1956. That's a slogan. And more sports management.
What's their slogan?
We give you more. 601-260-3509.
That's not a slogan.
Well, don't make a lick of sense. But no, that's a really nice slogan. But we have Ed Trim with us again. Ed, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's good to be back on Talking Sports Live.
Yes, sir. Well, we really appreciate that, Ed. We're getting closer to the draft. By the time we hit the air on the Lou, the draft would have been wrapped up.
Yes.
I guess. You a Saints fan?
I'm a Saints fan.
And before we popped up on air, you've been talking about who the Saints going to pick. They're going to pick Shedeur. You don't want Shedeur.
Well, it ain't that I don't want him. I'm just a little concerned about his arm strength, throwing a frozen rope on the outside. My man here says I'm wrong. I just want the Saints to get a good quarterback because you cannot win without a good quarterback. He's got great leadership qualities. He comes the genetic genes of one of the greatest NFL players of all time. He's a good leader.
Mm-hmm.
He's got he's a winner. I love everything about him. He throws a good deep ball. I'm just a little concerned about his
arm strength.
His arm strength, and that's just something you can't coach up. You know, either you got that or you don't. So,
But we saw him. We saw him at Jackson State.
Yes.
And my take on him is he's super accurate. I don't think he's that fast, but he is accurate, and I think he can throw that frozen rope. You think so too, right?
And I just really feel like it's really going to depend on Kellen Moore in his system.
right.
Because to be honest with you, Jalen Hurts was the same way. And then, so, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to coaching. Now, I won't mind Jackson Dart either. I just want somebody who's going to win. It could be Bugs Bunny. It could be David Duck. It could be Larry Nix or Bernard Moore. I'm just tired of losing. I want the Saints to be back on top. This has been frustrating. Ed attest to this. When you've been Drew Brees came in 06 and him and Sean Payton, they put us on the map. We got a Super Bowl in 10 and 09 or 10 and it's been frustrating the last past few years, Rob. I'm just keeping it real. Ever since Sean Payton left, Mickey Loomis has just made some bad moves to me. And this is a great draft to redeem himself. And through free agency also. So we'll see. I think he did the first thing good by I like Kellen Moore. I think he's a good coach.
I didn't realize that the Saints hadn't picked a quarterback in the first round since Archie Manning.
And I wasn't even around.
And this is the thing about that. So the Saints, they didn't need a quarterback in all these years. They hadn't needed.
Yeah, we needed one.
Archie was there up to about 1980 when he got traded to the Oilers. And then, 1980, they picked George Rogers when he just won the Heisman. And that's the year we all was wearing brown bags on our head, that we wasn't the Saints, we was the Aints.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a bad time. And really, we never recovered from that until, like you said, 2006, the year after Katrina. We got Drew Brees in free agency.
Yes.
We finally had a quarterback. Now, in the 90s, Bobby Hebert came in, and I mean, he wasn't bad, but we had a great defense.
What about Aaron Brooks?
Yeah, he was pretty good.
He's all right.
Aaron Brooks gave us our first playoff win. I was there when we played the Rams that night. So you got to give credit what credit's due. But at the end of the day, Drew Brees brought the Lombardi Trophy.
What about Jameis
Winston?
No.
What next up?
He was a great quarterback at Florida State, but I don't believe he'll
calm
ever start anywhere in the pros. He can't. You got to take care of the football, Rob, and he thinks he can throw it in a breadbasket 50 yards down the field.
I agree.
And
But
that's his problem. In his mind, I can do that. I can make this throw.
Yeah.
But he had 5,000 yards throwing in one season. Now, that's good. But when it came down to winning at the big game, he just couldn't do it.
But how many interceptions did he have in that year?
That's true. But you
But
still
he couldn't
can't
see.
he had the vision
He
problem.
had the vision problem.
So, but his vision fixed now. So what's the problem?
What, man?
I mean, you got 11 guys out there. You got to be able to see the one that you don't throw it to.
Well, my thing is, and you attest to me, we need a young quarterback that's for the future.
I agree.
And we had a chance to pick Patrick Mahomes to take over for Drew Brees, and Sean Payton didn't do the pistol on that. So hey, Ed Bishop can be our quarterback right now.
Well, you may not want that.
Oh,
You may not want
you don't think he can throw?
that. No, you might want Willie first.
I will say this. I think this is one of the weaker classes for quarterbacks. When you look back at all the classes, I mean, nobody just jumps out to me. I'm even concerned about this kid from Miami. I mean,
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward.
I'm not concerned about
Not
him.
concerned about.
No,
I like Jackson Dart though. I really do.
I'm not.
And the thing with Shador, he has come up under NFL quarterbacks. He's trained under NFL
That's true.
quarterbacks. So I
And
think
that's Tom Brady and all of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
And he went to Archie Manning was his not Archie but Peyton. Yeah.
I think Shador is a good quarterback. I do like him.
Either one of those I can't lose.
Travis Hunter, I can take him or leave him. Most will leave.
Let me ask you a question. What about if the Chiefs jump up in the draft
Mm.
and take Travis Hunter? What would you do? Would you?
I'm gonna go to Kansas City, jump down their throat, and stomp their liver.
Look,
They get Travis Hunter.
Kansas City needs an offensive tackle. Bad on the left side. They're not taking.
What is Travis Hunter gonna play? Wide receiver or corner or both?
He
Well,
wants to play both.
he wants to play both, but in the NFL, that's different. I mean, you got to be that's going to be kind of hard.
I think he'll play corner. I think a cornerback is usually a much more valuable player, and it's also weak on cornerbacks. If you look through all the top draft picks that are supposed to be drafted, cornerback is not on there much.
Is he too small?
Who would be Cleveland Brown quarterback is the question.
I don't know who their quarterback is.
Deshaun Watson, but I don't think Deshaun's going to be playing next year.
I don't think he'll ever play again.
Yeah, I don't think
he'll ever
no,
play
I
again.
don't. I agree with Ed. Yeah.
I mean, I watched him when he was healthy, wide open receivers running across the field, and he threw it in the dirt 5 feet in front of him. I don't know what happened to
So
it.
would they get Shador
Who?
instead of Travis Hunter? Cleveland.
No. I don't think so. But I tell you what, the sleep in this draft, and he's not really a sleeper because he's a high draft pick, but Abdul Carter with Penn State, that kid is dynamic.
Would he be around when the Chiefs pick?
No. He's supposed to go to the third pick.
You don't think so?
Rob, you don't need I agree with him. You need an offensive line. You need an offensive lineman real bad. And I think you need another wide receiver. Tyreek Hill is available.
I'd rather have Travis Hunter.
Than Tyreek Hill?
Yes. Tyreek Hill is a troublemaker. Did you see him the other day? He dangled his baby outside the window.
He did what?
Yeah, they had to call the cops on him. He's just a troublemaker.
Is he still with Miami?
He's still with him for now.
Yeah.
He's still with him for now. Yeah. But we're looking at this mock draft that we have. Anything else steps out at you? Ed, you feel like a lot of these guys may be gone. There may be some trades in the first round. And like I said, by the time we hit the air on the Lou, this would have happened already. I'm really surprised on this mock draft. They have Shedeur going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now they need a quarterback, and I think they like Shedeur. So,
but I do agree with Ed when we talked about off air. I mean, Pittsburgh got a lot of things they need.
Could Shedeur slip to the second round?
I don't think so.
His daddy's head would blow all off his shoulder if he slipped. If Shedeur, so that's why I'm kind of hoping that Shedeur slipped.
All right,
I want to see what's going to happen. No, I'm just kidding. I've always liked Shedeur, like Shiloh, because those guys seem like they really like being at Jackson State. Yeah, they really did. But Ed, you say the Chiefs need an offensive lineman.
The Chiefs need an offensive left tackle bad because if you watch a Super Bowl, the biggest problem was they could not stop the defensive end for Philadelphia. He was on Mahomes quickly. They had that offensive guard moved over to the left tackle. They haven't had a good offensive lineman.
You got to keep bringing it up. You got to keep bringing it up. You didn't say it. You didn't say it enough.
I'm sorry, Rob.
Then when you walked in, hey, Rob, we're having that Super Bowl.
I knew you were going to say something.
I mean, you walked in. You didn't say, hey, Rob, how you doing?
What I was asking for was an analytical of what happened to the Chiefs because I also was rooting for the Chiefs that game.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And I expected the Chiefs to win that game, and they just didn't show up.
No, they didn't. They did not. They did not. And I'm still reeling from that. I went to, as a matter of fact, Ed Bishop and myself went to a restaurant the other day. As soon as we got in there, this guy, hey, it was a Jamaican restaurant. This guy, hey, I want to talk about the Chiefs. I say, hey, man, shut up, man. So he said, hey, I want to talk about the Chiefs, man. I said, hey, man, Ed, let's go.
You left?
Well, I was about to, Ed, make
Ed stop you, yeah.
Ed stop me. I was about to leave. I'm still dealing with that, man.
Yeah.
Here's a memo. If you see Rob in public, don't bring up the game.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Please leave him alone.
With Rob J.
Hey, we have a trivia question that we're going to ask a little bit later in the show. Also, we're going to talk with, I sat down and talked with Millsap's baseball coach, head baseball coach, Jim Page. He's been there 37 years. They just won the conference championship. They're headed to the postseason. Now, they have the next 2 weeks off because they have a bye. So they have a lot of time off. But he's a great coach, man. He's in Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. So I sat down and talked with Coach Page. I've been knowing him a long, long time, man. And we had a nice conversation. That's coming up a little bit later in this show. Also, again, we have the trivia question. And you're going to love this trivia question because the person who put this trivia question together, he did a little jugging at Ed.
Yeah, a lot of jugging. Not
a lot of jugging.
A lot of jugging.
But Ed, quickly before we go to break, tell us about Pennington and Trim Alarm Services.
Well, we've been in business now since October 1987, so this fall will be 38 years. We are the largest alarm company in Mississippi that's independently owned. We've done work on over 19,000 job sites. Wow. We go from Tupelo to Gulfport and everywhere in between. And we just keep on rolling. Every year we grow more than we did the last year, and just been blessed. And nowadays it seems like we're doing as much cameras and home automation and access control in a lot of these schools and churches and businesses. It's not just home security anymore. It's just so much more. Anything under our low voltage umbrella. But we're very, very fortunate, and we're very thankful for our many thousands of customers that have called us and chosen us to protect their homes and families and businesses.
And one of those customers is the Jackson State Walter Payton Center.
Yes,
that's
Walter Payton.
And one of those customers also is my school, Reimagine Prep Middle School.
Oh, and one is Bernard Moore of More and More Sports Management.
What he
give you more?
What he got a camera for?
Well, he's got a security system in his home.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
He puts the bad guys in jail every day, so he got to protect himself when he goes home.
Oh.
Oh, they be after him. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
I'm Josh Trim with Pennington and Trim Alarm Services. We firmly believe in offering the latest and greatest in camera and access control technology. With the Alarm.com platform, we're able to offer a user-friendly and fully integrated service to do just that.
We're a light that shines your way. Let us in and you will find security and peace of mind. Gonna keep on out.
We feel strongly that clients are best served by a financial institution that has roots here, but also has an eye on the future. That's what we believe First Commercial Bank brings to our markets. Our idea is simple: deliver a consistently exceptional client experience each and every time. We have a unique story to tell, and our talented associates are dedicated to meeting the needs of our clients every day. Visit firstcommercialbk.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Accidents happen, and the Abston Law Firm wants to help you. Don't feel overwhelmed with disruptions to your life that accidents and injuries bring. Let Willie Abston work for you. At Abston Law Firm, you're important to us. Protecting your rights and helping you meet your future needs is our main goal, and we take pride in servicing our clients. We provide you with knowledgeable, caring legal representation. We are experienced and dedicated to helping you. Call for your free consultation today. Abston Law, located at 1307 Airport Road in Flowood.
All right, welcome back to Talking Sports Live here on the Lou. Also, we are here at Full Moon Barbecue, 1935 Main Street in Madison, Mississippi. Rob J. along with Jamie Horton. We have Ed Trim here with us. Want to remind you that each and every Wednesday night here at Full Moon Barbecue, it is happy hour each Wednesday from 5 until 8. During this time, customers will receive a 50% discount on all beverages, including beer and soft drinks with their meals, and children under 12 years of age get free drinks with their meal. And before we went to break, we were talking about Pennington and Trim, some of the people that you service and some of the things that you do with your business. But there was one thing we left out about the contracts.
You know, one of the main things that we hang our hat on is so many companies, you sign up with them and they want you to sign a 3-year contract.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays in our industry, it's even got up to 5-year contracts. And that just means that when you sign up with them, even after a month or 2 months, if you're unhappy, they say, hey, I'm sorry, brother, you signed a 5-year contract. And when it runs out, then you can get out, or you can write me a check and buy out the last, whatever's left. I don't believe in contracts. I never have since day one in 1987. We've never made anybody sign a contract. I believe you're only as good as last month's service. And if you're a Pennington and Trim customer and you decide to move to another state or move into an assisted living home, or in these days and times your finances got tight and you can't afford it, you ought to have the right to say, hey, man, I appreciate it, but I need you to turn me off right now. I may call you back later.
Wow.
And we all we want you to do is just send us something in writing saying, turn me off. We stop it that day for any reason. It don't matter. You're only as good as last month's service, the home of no contracts. As long as there's breath in my lungs, nobody will ever sign a contract.
That's all right.
And Rob, you know what? That's the sign of a true New Orleans Saints fan. Now, if that was a Dallas Cowboy fan, he said, I got the 5-year contract.
10 year.
I'll tell you, and I want my money next month. I don't care where you go.
Imagine, Rob J., if you had a yard guy to come out and cut your grass, and he left rows he didn't cut, and he may edge one side and didn't blow it all. It's like, dude, what is this?
Exactly.
I get my neighborhood kid to do a better job than this.
Yeah.
But he says, I'm sorry you didn't like your cut, Rob, but you signed a contract and all summer long. And next summer and the next summer and the next summer, you got my grass, you come back next week or
Yes,
2
sir.
weeks from now. And that's all it is I believe you have to prove yourself every single month, not just here, sign this and hope and pray they're going to do a good job for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yes, sir. And Ed, you are a fan of Ole Miss, and you're a fan of sports. You visited all the football stadiums except 2, all the NFL football stadiums except 2.
I did. I'm a big football fan, and I love going to the stadiums. And my favorite thing to do is to go in the pro shop and buy a jersey of my all-time favorite player. I'm old school, so I like the old players.
All the schools, of all the teams.
Of all the teams. And so if I went to San Francisco, I got Jerry Rice. You know, if I go to Seattle, I get Steve Largent. You know,
Okay. Wow.
so now in New York, the only time I didn't was in New York. Joe Namath, they wanted $500 for that jersey. I said, "Are you crazy for a jersey?"
Now, who did you get for the Chiefs?
For the Chiefs, when I went to the Chiefs, I went to see them play the Raiders at Thanksgiving, and this was when my son was still in high school, his junior year, and it was one of the first stadiums other than the Saints I went to, and I wasn't buying the jerseys then, so I didn't get one. But later on, I ordered online Kelsey.
Travis
87.
Kelce. Okay. Okay. What two stadiums have you not visited?
I haven't been to the Cowboys. Now I've been to the stadium twice for Ole Miss bowl games, but I don't count it because of, I got to see the tailgating, and I did order me a Roger Staubach online. My son's got it for me for Christmas one year, and I'll wear that when I go. But I've still got to go see a Cowboys game at the stadium, and I've still got to go to Chicago, where there's no doubt I'll get number 34. Sweetness himself.
And let me ask you a question about that. We get on Dallas all the time, and we mess with Brother Nix, but Dallas has so many great players. What made you decide on Roger Staubach?
Well, when I grew up as a kid, I was always a Saints fan because of Archie Manning, but obviously they were always losing, and they weren't never making the playoffs. The Cowboys were making the playoffs and playing, the Dolphins for the Super Bowl in '75, and 76 playing the Steelers, and there was that big Cowboy Steelers, and I just loved, Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson and that defensive line with Randy White and Harvey Martin and Tall Jones.
They was tough.
Dede Lewis's linebackers and Hollywood Henderson and Cliff Harris and Walters. What a great doomsday defense that was. So I was a big Cowboys fan, and even up into the early 90s when Jimmy Jones was coaching them and they won those Super Bowls, loved Emmitt Smith and Aikman and all those guys. I did. I mean, I rooted for them.
Well, you can't be a Saints fan.
Yes, you can.
I'm going to tell you this.
Yes, you
I'm
can.
going to tell you this. When I was a bachelor, this guy made me an Alcorn Brave. It was Alcorn Brave statue, a little bust. It was an Indian. With
The little Brave.
Yeah, little Brave, purple and gold. So what happened? I had some work done to my house, and this lady came over, and she said, "You went to Jackson State?" I said, "Yes." She said, "What are you doing with that Alcorn thing on your coffee table?" I said, "Well, somebody." She said, "No self-respecting Jackson State fan would have an Alcorn bust on statue on their table." Look, I said, "Get out of here! I put whatever I want on my table."
In 1992, if the Dallas Cowboys would have played Bobby Hebert and the Saints, I would have been a Saints fan for that game. But I'm just saying that that was three great Super Bowl teams: 92, 93, and 95. And I still say if Jimmy Jones was the coach, they would have won more. But Jerry Jones messed up a lot of stuff. And to
Jimmy
me,
Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
I was about to say
Jimmy Johnson.
another.
Yeah.
But the owner messed up a lot of stuff.
Messed up.
They
Still
never,
is.
They're never going to win a Super Bowl again until he's no longer there.
You don't think so?
I
As
agree.
long as he wants to be the head coach and the ball boy and,
General manager.
and the press conference
everything.
guy, and he's too much hands on.
Yeah.
And,
He's a water boy. He's everything.
I mean, how many times when Dallas Cowboys play in the Super Bowls did you ever see Tex Graham and those guys get involved
That's
with
a
any of
good
that
point.
stuff?
No general manager does that, do they?
No, not really.
I mean,
That's the head coach's job
Yeah.
to do all that.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, Dallas, Jerry Jones like attention. And as long as I agree with Ed 100%.
Yeah.
And they have talent in the past.
And they picked 12th in this draft. I think if they have a good draft, they may get back to
where? Losing.
I think they may. I don't know how they didn't win last year and the year before that. I thought they had a great defense. I really thought they'd go to the Super Bowl. I really thought so. What do you think about them trying to ban the tush push?
I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, it's almost like a rugby play, and it's not like a football play. I never saw no tush push back when Sweetness was playing for the Bears when they won 42-10 over the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So I kind of like real football where you hand the ball to a running back and let him get the score. So, but there's, quarterback sneak. Only difference in that and a tush push, ain't nobody behind you.
Yeah.
The
only reason I don't like it is you can't do it on defense. You can't push anybody on defense. Don't do it on offense.
That's a good point.
That's what I think about the tush push. But everybody thought the Chiefs were trying to ban it, but it was the Green Bay Packers.
So what?
Oh, they the one that brought it up?
He brought it up.
This is actually the first time I've heard this. So they have banned it. They're talking about
No.
it in the rules meetings.
It died.
It died.
It died.
So
yeah.
it's still,
still
gonna
going,
be-
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know they were.
In the competition.
But I'm going to tell you what grates this. What grates this to me is they're going to start looking at first downs electronically because the Buffalo Bills didn't get a first down against the Chiefs and they lost. You know, when what's the quarterback? What's his name? Josh, whatever.
Josh, yeah, I knew. Yeah,
He
17.
he went with quarterback sneak and the Chiefs stopped
Josh
him,
Allen.
and they said, "Oh, that was the first down. That was should have been the rule." Whenever something happens to the Buffalo Bills, they change the rules. When the Chiefs beat them in overtime, when Josh Allen didn't get the ball, oh, we got to change the rule. Josh Allen was just sitting over there. He didn't get the first down. He didn't get to touch the ball. That's what grates me with that. That grates me, Ed.
Calm him down.
What? Look, why can't they put some kind of little chip in the tip of the football, and it knows exactly where
Oh,
that
that's a
chip
good idea.
forward. You know, it's like it's a little microchip.
That's a good idea.
I just don't understand.
What'd you say,
it
Bernard?
tells you-
I can't hear you, Bernard.
It's gonna be like the Flakegate.
Gonna be like Deflategate.
Deflategate.
See, he's
Well, I know
already-
this. There
he's
would
just
never
left
ever
eating
be
some
another
baked
doubt
beans
if he
and baked
crossed
beans.
the line of scrimmage if they did this.
That is a good idea. That's a good
It's
point.
just a microchip
That's
in
a
a
good point.
football, and it can't be that. I mean, it's almost like GPS tracking.
Yes.
You know exactly where your trucks are all day long.
Absolutely.
GPS tracking on the football and on the inch line.
Would you like that?
I mean, I'm open to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still taking away from good old fashioned football.
But coach, instead of having 5 minutes of replay, watching the same thing when
Now-
when a million people are on top of you and you can't see if
And
the
then
ball
they still-
crossed the goal line.
And then they still get it wrong.
But that
Still
chip,
get it.
you're gonna know exactly if it
That's right.
crossed that plane of the goal line.
That's
We
right.
would never have this argument again.
I mean, like the tush push. I do agree with you on it. I mean, it's so many advantages to the offense. I mean, you're pushing the defense back, and the defense has no leverage whatsoever.
Yeah.
To
Because
to stop
everybody
the
just
play.
pushing them.
Everybody just pushing them. That's not fair.
All right. Well, we're going to coming up in our next segment. We'll be talking with Millsap's head baseball coach Jim Page. They just won their conference tournament in baseball. He's been there 37 years. He's a member of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. Great coach. He's a great guy.
Look, I played in over 30 baseball when I was 30 years old, and we used to play our games out at Millsaps, and Coach Page was pitching for the Yankees. I played for the Dodgers, and Coach Page was pitching for the Yankees. He is an excellent pitcher.
He's
Now,
a good
this was
guy.
30 years ago,
Yeah.
but he's got one of the best pickoff moves for a right-hander I've ever seen.
Wow. Well, I sat down with him and talked about his career, and that'll be coming up next. But before we go to that, I want to give the trivia question. This is this week's trivia question, Ed. Before the 1947 football season, Ole Miss promoted one of the team's assistant coaches to the head coach position. This coach won 190 games in 25 years as a head coach at Ole Miss. Who was this coach? And here are your choices. Was it Houston Nutt? Was it Ed Orgeron? Was it Johnny Vaught? Was it Tommy Tuberville? Was it Dan Mullen? Or was it Bob Tyler? If you know the answer, you know one of
I
these
know
answers.
one should be eliminated already.
Come on, man. Because when Ed saw this, he said he wasn't the Ole
He
Miss
said
coach.
somebody jugging at me.
If you know that answer, hit us up on our social media pages, Talking Sports Live, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Don't call the TV station because they will not answer.
Make sure we
They won't answer because they're not there.
No, they're not.
All right, we'll be back with Coach Jim Page of the Millsaps Majors after this.
I'm Josh Trim with Pennington and Trim Alarm Services. We firmly believe in offering the latest and greatest in camera and access control technology. With the Alarm.com platform, we're able to offer a user-friendly and fully integrated service to do just that.
We're a light that shines your way. Let us in and you will find security and peace of mind. Come on and keep on now.
We feel strongly that clients are best served by a financial institution that has roots here, but also has an eye on the future. That's what we believe First Commercial Bank brings to our markets. Our idea is simple: deliver a consistently exceptional client experience each and every time. We have a unique story to tell, and our talented associates are dedicated to meeting the needs of our clients every day. Visit firstcommercialbk.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Accidents happen, and the Abston Law Firm wants to help you. Don't feel overwhelmed with disruptions to your life that accidents and injuries bring. Let Willie Abston work for you. At Abston Law Firm, you're important to us. Protecting your rights and helping you meet your future needs is our main goal. And we take pride in servicing our clients. We provide you with knowledgeable, caring legal representation. We are experienced and dedicated to helping you. Call for your free consultation today. Abston Law, located at 1307 Airport Road in Flowood.
Welcome back to the show. I'm so happy and I'm so honored to have with me the head coach of the Millsaps baseball team, Coach Jim Page. Coach, you've been here a long time. First of all, thank you for your time. I know you're busy.
No, man, this is great. Yeah, you're the man. I appreciate you.
Well, Coach, you're just coming off a championship. You won the regular season. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Talk a little bit about this team.
Yeah, this is, we've had special groups over the years. I guess this is my 37th year as head coach, and this group they've got something about them. Last year we were good. We were 11-4, 1-0 in the league, and had a couple arms go down. And hitters started pressing a little bit. Whatever. We ended up losing 10 run games and 6 2-run games. And this is the same group. And they've approached this year with a chip on their shoulder and try to make some adjustments in how they approach certain things. And it has been easy. This has been an easy year for me. And the coaches, I think we've trusted them and just, kind of, hey, don't forget about that chip and keep it going and handle, things the way we need to handle things. And they've done a really, really good job. Our starting pitching's been awesome. Our relievers, we got a bunch of freshmen and some others that are helping. And this is a veteran group. And so it's really been fun.
Coach, do you ever look at, what you've accomplished in the 37 years and all the teams you've had? I know you were number one year. Which wasn't too long ago. Do you ever rank the teams that you?
No, there aren't many moments to do that. I'm always afraid to look back and enjoy what we've done because we've got another year and another day, and there will be time for that when it's all over for me. There's no doubt these guys, man, so many guys were texting and calling, from guys that graduated a year ago all the way back to the 77 group that I wasn't even here with. And they've been texting as soon as we went on the bus ride home. The bus ride was as quick as any I've had, a 6-hour bus ride. And everybody was just texting congratulations and genuinely excited, which shows that, this is a program, not just a team you play on for 4 years and leave. And so that's really, really special. And that's the most special thing about everything. And these guys will be doing that 10 years from now.
And Coach, every year it seems like you're a winner every year, which is a testament to you being named to the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. Do you sit back and is it still fun for you?
Oh yeah, or I wouldn't be doing it. Like, I still love competing. But I love competing with the guys and watching them and watching, somebody that struggles when they first get here, and by their junior year, you're just dapping them, saying "atta baby" and way to go. And that is what's fun. And the brotherhood and the whole, even as a coach, we still wear the same uniforms, and they have a brotherhood, but we're a part of it too. And that's something that's more special. When the pros retire, you don't hear them when they ask what they're missed. You don't hear, well, being up in the bat with the bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, whatever. You hear, I'm going to miss the guys, the locker room, the trips, and it holds true here. And that is so important. And this group has that, like, they want to win as bad as we do. And anytime you have a situation where they're willing to do whatever it takes to win, it's a good thing and it's a fun thing.
Do you look back? Do you ever sit back, Coach, like when you got a free time? I know you're busy all the time, but do you look back at your free time and say, man, I've done this? You're in the Hall of Fame. And do you sit back and just see what you've built here at Millsaps?
No, it's funny. It's the opposite. I sit back and think, wow, I wish I was better in the early 90s. I wish, I wish I could have done this better that year. And I could have, even years we went to the World Series in 2013. Wow, if I maybe made a little better decision here. So I think that's how it happens. And I think when it's over, maybe then I'll, the emails that I've gotten over the years, even from parents from opposing teams, saying, wow, the way your guys classy and the whole, I think I'll enjoy that then. I use those as motivation to remember, hey, we still want to approach it that way. Even though times have changed and there's a little different way to do some things, I've conceded a little bit, but there's some things I will not. We're going to respect the games, respect our opponents, and try to be first class. And that's defined when things aren't going that great for you. So anyway,
Do you have any memorable moments?
Oh, yeah.
Not one moment, but you have any memorable moments?
I do. Cody McCain he was a catcher for me for 4 years. He was my assistant for 13 years, and he, with kids, he went to another profession, but he's kind of come back a little bit this year and helped out a bunch. And we were talking about it on the bus ride to Barry about me and him. We played really bad against Austin College in Sherman, Texas, and I was so upset. I kicked the driver off his own bus and our trainer so they wouldn't hear anything. I ripped the team, and then I decided I wasn't riding back with the team, and I was going to walk from Austin College to the hotel, which I knew was generally somewhere in that direction. And Cody gets off. I said, "No, you go with the team." He goes, "No, I'm walking with you for 2 reasons. One, you'll never get back to the hotel, which was 6.7 miles away, and you've got $3,000 in your backpack." And it was yeah. And the next day we played, we get home the following day. I was getting calls from coaches I didn't know in California, Oregon, Virginia. "Hey, coach, I'm so-and-so. Did you really walk home from?" And some of it was 6.7, some of it was 12.1, and I was just like, yeah, we did. Now, not the proudest day of my life, but funny, no doubt. Now, so there's those, and then there's so many memories. When we win something, I don't go jump out in the pile. I sit there and just visually watch them, and that's something that I do every once in a while. Somebody will call me a Wetzel or whoever, and I'll see that dog pile at Hendrix College, and I'll see when we went to the World Series in St. Louis, Missouri, and so those things do pop up in my head, and it's motivation to keep this going, because these players are all representing players in the past, and so that's kind of cool.
Do they call you? Do they come back, players that played for you in the past?
Oh, yeah, even pairs. Like Kurt Kennard played for me, got to sign with Arizona Diamondbacks when he was done. He's a doctor now in Tupelo, Mississippi, but his dad will call me up every year, and he graduated in 1996, and he'll say, "Hey, coach, how are we going to be this year?" Not how are you guys going to be, how are we going to be? And that's the father of one of our players. And that happens. When we went to the World Series in 2013, we had so many guys that graduated in the 90s and the early 2000s that drove with their dad to Appleton, Wisconsin to watch us play. And so, again, that's a tribute to the program, which is the guys in the dugout, the guys that played before, and they keep showing up. And when they do, I'll have them say something to the guys. And so it's really, and it's Millsaps College. I mean, these guys are going to get a great degree, and they're doctors, lawyers, businessmen. Some are preachers, and a couple of them are dumb like me, and we decided to go into coaching. But it's the whole mix, and this is why it's been hard for me to leave. I've had some chances to do whatever, and this is a hard place to leave. And my wife and I love our church. We go to Pine Lake, and our family. All 4 of my kids have graduated from here. Case is my last one. He's getting his MBA the last COVID year, and he's graduated, but now he'll graduate with his master's, and we're going to get a shirt that says 4 for 4. Wendy's ain't got nothing on us, and my wife and I met here, and so she's a grad here as well. So it has been a fun Millsaps family, literally.
When you played here, did you ever realize that you would be a coach here?
No, not when I was playing. Of course, like every kid, you have your dream. I wanted to get a chance to play pro ball, and then it just worked out. Luckily, Coach Davis and Coach Raniger, when I graduated, I did work study and taped ankles and did some things, and that led to an opening, a job created for me. And that's a lesson, man. When you go work, man, you pay your dues, bust it, whatever, and then they won't want you to leave. And so that's kind of what happened for me. I got to be Coach Raniger's assistant in baseball for 3 years, and he took over the football team when Coach Davis, legendary, both guys, and when he retired, and I got to slip right in as the baseball coach, and has been having fun ever since.
You're exactly right, Coach, because I tell the gentleman that's running the camera here, he come out here, he's hot. Be happy that you're getting a check.
That's right.
He could be running the streets. He could be, but anyway.
No, that's right. Hey, when I was working here in the early 90s, I was delivering Domino's pizza for 2.5 years. We didn't have lights. We'd get done at 6, and I'd run to Domino's and deliver pizza until 12, and then wash your dishes and go home. Whatever it takes was my motto. I was going to pay the bills because I was getting to enjoy what I'm doing. Yeah. And now, God's blessed us with other things, and so now, it's paid off.
Well, Coach, I got to tell you, when I was working at the TV station, and I always made sure we covered Millsaps. Yeah. They wanted to cover, the bigger schools, but you were always winning. And then during the summer, you had your summer camp when you slid in the water with the kids. Do you still do that?
I still do it. Believe it or not, I'm 62, and now it hurts a lot more, and I'm pulling more G's when I hit the ground now. But my wife and I talked about that last night. night. I was telling her, I was like, Rob J, and he was the guy. She goes, everybody knows who Rob J is. And so he's bigger than you are. So don't. Yeah, she remembered. She was talking about sliding day when you were out there. I think you slid one time with us.
I did, Coach.
Yes.
Sure
And it showed me up, so I made sure that you never got to slide again. Because Chris, he slid better than I did.
But Coach, one moment that I remember, I don't know if you remember this or not, I came out to practice and you had a bandage on your ear. You had been stung by a bee or something. You remember that?
I do. I got attacked. Man, my wife was pregnant in the hospital and she had a C-section, and I got attacked by bees in the driveway. And when I went, I was all swole up and things, and I was telling her the story, and she was crying, laughing, going, please stop, because she had just been cut open to have the. Anyway, so yeah, I remember that bee sting real well.
Wow. Well, Coach, I don't think a lot of people know that you also work on maintaining the field. You do that as well.
Well, we definitely do it. Danny Neely, now the grass looks like this. People will have a recruit come and they'll think it's artificial turf, and I'll have to walk the dad. No, that's grass. Danny Neely's the best. He's our guy, and he could go grass on that parking lot if he wanted to.
Wow.
And yeah, it's really spectacular. And then we help him. You know, we do the dirt. Now he was up here a little bit ago helping, saying, hey, yeah, you need to do this. Put a couple bags on there. So, but we get after it, and our players do too. I want them to take pride. Like this is ownership. This is their field too.
Wow.
This is their dugout, and it's going to be forever.
Yes,
there's never a time where they're gone and that's it.
Well, Coach, I certainly appreciate your time, and I know you're about to go into the postseason. How's everything looking going into that?
Good. We're excited. We get a bye, so we have a bye this weekend from the league. So, and then we got another bye the next weekend. So we're having to be creative a little bit and figure out exactly what we're going to do. And this is something that's cool. Normally you'd inter squad, but you've been doing it all fall and all spring, and the guys wouldn't want to do it. And this just shows the maturity of this team and what it means to them. They actually came up to me yesterday and said, hey, we need to inter squad. We need to squad on the weekends. We want to feel like our bodies are going to feel like on Friday, Saturday when we play this stuff. And that was when I heard that, I was like, okay, that's a good thing. And so I'm actually redoing kind of what we scheduled, because I have a lot of trust in them at what they think they need. And so it's good. And so we're excited about that. And I guess that's coming up May 7th, 8th, 9th, something like that, 8th, 9th, 10th, whatever it is. Yeah, we got a little bit of time to figure it out, but we're going to have some fun, get after it today, take a little light BP, going to Shreveport tomorrow to play Centenary. They're Mike Diaz team. They're always really good, so it's going to be a battle and help keep us fresh until we get to have the fun stuff here.
Coach, how do you have great teams every year? What are you a magician?
No, you get good kids in, and hey, we've had a rough one every now and then, and last year was rough after such a good start when you lose some guys, but we get good guys in here, and they buy in, and they great families, man. We've been blessed, beyond means, and who wouldn't want to get a degree from Millsaps College? Yes, and so that is something that we recruit and sell, and it helps having some banners up on your wall, and we get to put another one up there now, and hopefully we get to put a couple more up based on the regionals and everything else.
Well, that's great, man. With all the NIL deals going on with these schools, and you continue to win like that is amazing. That's fantastic.
Well, it is, and hopefully they'll fix some of that stuff up and whatever. But it is, it's hard to create a culture and a chemistry when you're having to deal with this, and it becomes me, and what's best for me. And fortunately, I can see it on a lot of things, but that's something I won't. This is going to be a brotherhood. If it's good enough for our military, it's good enough for in the big leagues, it's going to be good enough for us. And we have guys that buy into that, and who doesn't want to be a part of where something's bigger than us? And to me, that's what's fun. Me is empty. Because 20 years ago, and I tell them this, man, 20 years from now, guys, people ain't going to say, remember when you did this, remember when you did this. They're going to say, remember when we did this.
Yes.
And that's what this is about.
Well, Coach, if there was a Mount Rushmore in Mississippi on baseball coaches, you'd be up there. You would be on there, Coach.
Right under you is the sportscaster.
Coach, thank you so much for this. Congratulations on your year, Coach, and I really appreciate your time. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, man. Thanks, everybody, and we'll look forward to seeing. I know a bunch of people are coming back for this, and Rob J is the best, and go Majors, and
go
Rob J.
Did you hear that, Chris?
No, thank you. All right, buddy. Thanks, man.
Right.
Thank you.
I'm Josh Trim with Pennington and Trim Alarm Services. We firmly believe in offering the latest and greatest in camera and access control technology. With the Alarm.com platform, we're able to offer a user-friendly and fully integrated service to do just that.
We're a light that shines your way. Let us in and you will find security.
We feel strongly that clients are best served by a financial institution that has roots here, but also has an eye on the future. That's what we believe First Commercial Bank brings to our markets. Our idea is simple: deliver a consistently exceptional client experience each and every time. We have a unique story to tell, and our talented associates are dedicated to meeting the needs of our clients every day. Visit firstcommercialbk.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Accidents happen, and the Abston Law Firm wants to help you. Don't feel overwhelmed with disruptions to your life that accidents and injuries bring. Let Willie Abston work for you. At Abston Law Firm, you're important to us. Protecting your rights and helping you meet your future needs is our main goal. And we take pride in servicing our clients. We provide you with knowledgeable, caring legal representation. We are experienced and dedicated to helping you. Call for your free consultation today. Abston Law, located at 1307 Airport Road in Flowood.
Welcome back to Talking Sports Live. Great job. Thank you so much, Coach Page, for giving me the time to talk with him. He just won the championship, and I know they're really, really busy. You know Coach Page.
I do know Coach Page. I did. I didn't get a chance to play college ball for him or against him, but fortunately had a chance in my 30s to play in a baseball league, a bunch of old guys that still love baseball, called the Over 30 League. And Coach Page played for the Yankees, and I played for the Dodgers. And Coach Page was a great athlete. Even, back then, that's 30 years ago. But
the Over 30, look, I played for that league. I played for the Cardinals.
Who did you?
Yes.
Wait a minute. You played what?
The Over 30 league. I played for the Cardinals.
How about that?
And look,
What year was that?
I don't remember what year it was, but I played
1996, 1997,
Yeah.
right into 1998.
because let me tell you, they came by. I did a story on them when I was at a TV station
Yeah.
at that time, and then they said, "Come out and play with us." And so I was with I started with the Orioles, and then ended up with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You played with them, man?
And I was the Pennington and Trim Dodgers. I sponsored the team. I was a
Wow.
center fielder, leadoff hitter, and a pitcher.
Nix, Bernard, and Ed. We got to find footage of him playing baseball.
I may have it.
Please,
at home.
I need to see that.
I got the pictures.
What position you played?
First base.
First
base.
The thing is, I admired Rob J so much as the WLBT. And when I was throwing them hooks, striking them boys out, I would remember seeing Rob walk.
Because I was striking out.
I don't think I remember that because I would have recognized.
I'll tell you what, we had a guy who I recruited to play with the Cardinals with us. And what I liked about it, we had authentic jerseys.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we had a guy, he played with me, and they ended up trading. He was the first trade ever in that league. They traded him to the team called the Royals.
Where y'all play at?
Oh,
We
wow.
played out at Madison, at Liberty Field.
Sure
We
did.
Okay.
played at MRA's baseball field.
You played in that? Yeah.
We played at University Christian School.
Sure
baseball
did.
field.
Yeah.
And
Played on Sunday.
And we played at Millsouth.
They played on Sundays.
And there was one field, the first field I ever played at was out in Raymond somewhere. Steve Renfro, who pitched for the 79 Wingfield champions, called me and said, "Man, I can't play. Can you come and play in my place?" And, we had church, man, till 12 o'clock, and these games started at 1.
Yeah,
so
they sure did.
It was hustling to get there. And and he gave me his jersey, and I played ever since.
I got to show you guys some footage. I'll show you some guys.
I can't wait.
Yes, sir.
Look, there were some good ball players in that league, man.
It
Eddie
really-
Robinson, little left-handed pitcher from Warren Central.
There was some really good players in that league.
Any footage of you like playing?
Because
Ed Mitchell, he got some footage of you playing too.
what did he say I was doing?
Right there, sitting on the bench.
We don't have a winner to the trivia question yet, but okay, it's simple. It's just a process of elimination.
Hello.
Here's the question. Before the 1947 college football season, Ole Miss promoted one of the team's assistant coaches to the head coach position. This coach went on to win 190 games in 25 years as a head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels. Now, is it Houston Nutt? Is it Ed Orgeron? Is it Johnny Vaught? Is it Tommy Tuberville? Is it Dan Mullins? Or is it Bob Tyler? If you know the answer, hit us up on our social media pages. All you have to do, I said 1947.
That should be.
That should tell you
I'll
right
tell
there
you.
of all these guys I named. All right. Ed, speaking of Ole Miss, can we have the Ole Miss football schedule?
Yes, we do.
Now I want you being an Ole Miss graduate.
No. I'm a Jim Hill Tiger graduate. I never got to go to college.
Okay.
I went to the school of hard knocks and started in the security business.
Yes.
My first job was at Dictograph in 1982, 1 year out of high school.
Yes, sir. But you're an Ole Miss fan.
I'm an Ole Miss fan.
Okay. August 30th, they open up against Georgia State at Ole Miss.
That's what I call a practice game.
That's 1-0.
And I hate those games. I wish they would do away with all those games
Okay.
and just put SEC games. And then
Okay.
I wish they played Tulane,
Okay.
Memphis.
Okay.
And, you know.
Okay, calm it down now. You got calmed up. You got calmed up. You got calmed up.
I
Okay.
don't like those practice games, Rob.
After that, they play at Kentucky.
Okay, it's going to be a tough game playing at Commonwealth, but I like Ole Miss to win that game.
All right, Jamie. He says Ole Miss is 2-0.
That's what he said.
Okay. After that, it's Arkansas at Ole Miss.
It's usually a tough game, but you play that game at home, you got to win your SEC games at home. I like Ole Miss.
It has Ole Miss jumping out to a 3-0 record.
That's
How
what he
about that?
said.
3-0 for the Ole
He
Miss
said.
Rebels. Now, September 20th, they play again at home against Tulane.
First of all, let me say Tulane ought to be an every year team. Tulane, Southern Miss, those type teams, not these practice games. Can I get back on that one more time? I hate that.
Calm down now.
I
You
like
gotta calm down.
like Ole Miss to beat Tulane to go
Okay.
4-0.
So Ed Trim says Ole Miss is going to open the season 4-0. Ed Bishop. Okay. Now, September 27th, Ole Miss play their third home game of the year. They play LSU.
So here's going to be the 2:30 CBS Sunday game or whatever station's holding the best game. Both teams will go undefeated going into that game, and it's going to be a close game. But since it's at Oxford, I'll take the Rebels. If it was a Baton Rouge, I'd take
How about
LSU.
that, Jamie? Ed Trim says Ole Miss is going to jump out 5-0.
5-0.
5-0.
Yeah, that's what he said.
You know,
5-0.
let me tell you, I said that last year or the year before that. I said they were going to be undefeated.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is going to miss some of these games. Okay. Now, again, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. They play 4 home games in a row. They got Washington State, October 11th.
See, another team from the Northwest going to come down to the heat of the South. It's still hot. Remember Notre Dame in 77? They couldn't deal with the humidity and the heat. We're going to 6-0.
What are you talking about?
6-0.
6-0. That's what he said.
6-0.
That's what he said. 6-0.
Ole Miss Rebels 6-0. All right. Then October 18th at Georgia in Athens, Georgia.
I don't even got to think about it. We're going to lose that game.
Okay. Wow. So Ole Miss at this point is 6-1.
Georgia going to be one of the best teams in the country. They stacked. They got money for NIL. We can't beat them at Athens.
October 25th at Oklahoma.
I believe we're going to lose that game. I think Oklahoma's going to be a whole lot better this year, and it's hard to win in Norman. I hope I'm wrong, but I think we're going to lose
Ed,
our second
you're
game.
saying they're going to jump out 6-0 and then lose 2 straight?
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow. Okay, and then
home field matters, Rob.
November 1st, South Kakalaki in Oxford.
Like I said, home field matters.
So Ole Miss wins that. They haven't lost at home
We're
yet.
going to beat the Gamecocks,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to go to, what is that, 7?
Okay, and then they play the Citadel.
Another one of them crazy practice games. That's probably
Crazy
homecoming,
practice.
but
Okay, calm down now.
I hate it.
Calm down now.
I hate it.
You got calmed up. Okay, so that's 8-2. That's 8-2. Now they close out. They have Florida in Oxford, November 15th.
If Florida plays like they did against us last year at the end of the season, they're going to come in and beat us. But I'm hoping that being in Oxford and we got a chance to be in the playoffs with 2 losses, we get up for the game and we win that game.
Wow.
And we go to 9-2.
9-2 Ole Miss Rebels, 9-2.
9-2.
Now this takes you into the final regular season game of the year, November 29th in Starkville, Mississippi. This may be your hardest game of the year, Mississippi State. This
There used to be a time when if they played in Oxford, the Rebels would win. If they played in Starkville, State would win. Used to be a time.
Oh.
But it ain't like that no more. It ain't like that no more. You got the has and the has-been. And Ole Miss is going to beat State.
Oh, he's finna get the microphone. You already know it's coming.
Right.
It's finna come.
So that's 10. You
Look.
say 10-2.
So Rob, I would cut Ed Trim off right about now,
No, you can't. Don't you do
but
that.
he's our sponsor. So I'll think twice. He's a good friend, and he's our sponsor. So I think I'll let him roll.
I just think State's a year away. You know, you can't go from the type of offense they had to come into a spread offense like Oklahoma runs, and what the coach came from Oklahoma as the offensive coordinator used to be at Ole Miss, and all of a sudden with the same players expect to be a 10-2 team or to beat a 10-2 team.
Okay.
Now next year he'll get his type of receivers and his type of quarterback and his type of players, They're a year away, and watch out for State.
Wow. So you're picking Ole Miss to go 10-2. 10-2. So wow, you agree with that?
No.
You think Ole Miss is going to Ole Miss one of these games? I'm gonna tell you which one they're going to Ole Miss.
Okay, give your prediction.
Okay, they're going to Ole Miss. Arkansas is going to pop them.
Okay.
LSU is going to pop them. Washington State is going to pop them.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And Mississippi State is going to pop them.
I mean, you missed one that's very.
Which one did I miss?
I think Florida gonna
Florida.
pop them.
You think Florida?
If I miss
yeah.
one, it's going to be Florida,
It's Florida.
and we're going to be a three-loss team just like last year and missed the playoffs by one game.
I may have just try to judge.
You losing all your sports credibility.
I am.
You're talking about Washington State coming down to Oxford winning that game. They just they not that
But
good.
Ole Miss is they're gonna flub up one of these games.
Look, last year we had no business losing to Kentucky, and we should have beat LSU in Baton Rouge. We had that game won.
Yeah.
So
All right. Hey, we have a winner.
Yeah.
We have a winner in our trivia question. And the winner, the question is, before the 1947 football season, Ole Miss promoted one of the team's assistant coaches. Who was that coach? Lakita Jones from Byram. She wins the gift card from here at Full Moon Barbecue. It is a $10 gift card. And Lakita, you are lucky because that's going to get you a drink. All right. So the winner is the answer is, who is it, Jamie?
It's Johnny Vault.
Johnny Vault. You could have got that answer by the process of elimination before the 1947 season. That would be 1946. Houston Nutt wasn't there then, 1946.
No.
Ed Orgeron was not there in 1946. Tommy Tuberville wasn't there in 1946.
He was not.
Bob Tyler wasn't there in 1946. And Dan Mullen
Wasn't there at all.
he was not a coach. Who put that in there, man?
Well, somebody was jugging it at our buddy Ed. That's what it is.
I think we all know who put that in there.
And I ain't calling no
Hey, let me
name,
tell you
but
something.
Larry
Hey,
Nick.
what you ought to do, I know Larry Nix is our producer. He
Yes.
writes the trivia question.
Yes.
He has Pennington and Trim Services.
Yes.
You ought to go to your business tonight and unhook all of it for putting Dan Mullins in there. You ought to,
Look, Rob J. I think your biggest mistake is getting Larry Nix to write the trivia question.
Ed, you ought to go to your center and just, is there a button you can just hit? boop, and just
Disconnect.
disconnect the service. He do that because he knew Dan Mullins didn't coach at Ole Miss.
He did that to Jug.
Oh my goodness, our time is up.
Our time is almost
Ed,
up.
thank you so much, man. The time flies when you're having fun.
Oh my gosh.
Thank
First
you.
of all, if it was just Larry there, it'd be easy, but if Carl was there, I couldn't do that to her.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Ed, thank you so much, man.
Man, I enjoyed being here. Thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
having me.
All right.
Thank you, Coach.
We time, buddy.
Good to see you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Join us back next week.